All right, well, welcome again to everybody for joining us today for the event portion of our Hatfield and McCoys. This is the 2020 pandemic version of Hatfield and McCoys. Thanks to so many people for being flexible about the way that we made this approach happen. My name is Joel Crandall. I'm the Interim Executive Director for Genesys Works Twin Cities. And we are raising some amazing dollars to be able to help support the mission of our organization today. And so many of you who are on the call are responsible for that. So thank you for doing well by doing good. And we're excited to have your help in doing that. We have a few things that we want to do today. We have a technology executive that's going to be part of our program. We have a Genesys Works student who's going to share a little bit more of his story. And we want to wrap it up with and ask for you to be a part of programming going forward. And so without further ado, I want to introduce our technology executive for today. Matt Neale is the Senior Vice President and CIO at UnitedHealthcare. And we're excited to have Matt here, not just in his professional role at UnitedHealthcare, but also because he's my boss. He's the board chair at Genesys Works. And Matt just wanted to share a little bit more about his experience and tell you a little bit more about what it's meant for him to be connected to Genesys Works. So Matt, I'll turn things over to you.
Thanks, Joel. Appreciate it. I got to get you an updated picture. There's a lot more gray involved since that picture came around. That's the pandemic, I blame. So thank you, everybody. We really appreciate your participation, your support. You're doing this in the middle of a pandemic. You're doing this in the middle of work from home. You're doing this in the middle of a snowstorm in October. You can't make this stuff up. So I just can't say thank you too much on behalf of the Genesys Works team, on behalf of the board, on how much we appreciate you and appreciate your participation here. Give you a little bit of background about me. So as Joel said, I'm Matt Neale. The role I currently serve at UnitedHealthcare is I am the CIO for our provider-facing system. So if you're a doctor or hospital interacting with UnitedHealthcare, you're almost certainly working with the technology that my team builds and supports. It's a pretty broad portfolio, and we're working in the wonderful world of healthcare that we're trying to make work better for everyone. I've been working with Genesys Works for about 9 years now. I started with them in my prior role when I was working at Target. I had been in all sorts of different roles working with Genesys Works, sponsor, amongst other things. But I joined the board about 4 years ago. And for me, it's just been this incredible intersection of a mission that I'm passionate about, which was helping our youth get the path that they need into great careers. And I was previously doing some mentoring with some students who maybe didn't have all the advantages on hand up that they needed to get going. And when I intersected that with Genesys Works and where I work in technology and building our labor force of the future, it was just this incredible opportunity to bring the things together, to impact these communities and these incredibly energetic and passionate individuals, the students that we serve. And also for us, selfishly, to build our pipeline of our talent for the future. These are the people that we want to hire. We're very excited about that. We're very overt about that. There's, I think one of the unusual things about this as a charitable endeavor is there's something very real in it for me and my organization as well, and that we see this very talented group of individuals and we want them to be part of our team. So that's the fun part of this and the thing that's always drawn me to the organization. I think it's a unique endeavor for a charity. I think the fact that we can offer these opportunities and impact so many lives, even through the pandemic, we're going to impact around 300 students this year, which is incredible when you think of everything going on here in the Twin Cities and beyond. So very proud of the team that we have at Genesys Works and the students that they coach, mentor, and serve. We're thankful to the schools that support them, and we're thankful to the corporate partners that offer them opportunities. But I would like to say thank you to all of you today for your time, your participation, your sponsorship. And candidly, I think there's something very real in it for you as well. These individuals that we're working with, the students that are getting great careers and great roles, they may well be the future members of your team. If you've met some of our students, you're probably going to want to hire them anyway. They're just incredibly impactful in everything they do. And if they're not part of your team, they'll be part of my team and probably buying your products in the future. So there's just a win-win there for all of us. And, I'm so excited that so many of you have chosen to participate and support us. And especially in this unique virtual circumstance, I can't say thank you too much. So thank you for me. Thank you for the entire Genesys Works board. We're honored to represent a lot of different companies and educational organizations and nonprofits, and we value the partnership of this group incredibly. So I'll hand it back to Joel, but I leave you again with just a great amount of gratitude from us. I think if you've spent time with our students, you know why we're passionate about the mission. And please reach out anytime if I can help you any way, or if there's a way we can get you more involved with Genesys Works. Thanks, Joel.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. A little bit of history on Hatfield and McCoys. Some of you know this history as well, or maybe even better than I do, but Hatfield and McCoys was an event dreamed up by Craig Pratt, got early help from Nick Hernandez, and their real goal was to bring together people who would typically compete in a really active environment for technology vendors in the Twin Cities community, but to bring them together for a day of being able to connect and to be able to do good together. And the first year, usually these events took place in bars, bowling alleys, or breweries. That seemed to be the theme over the years. And we're really sad to not be able to connect with people in person. That was such a special part of what this event has meant in the past. And we're looking forward to being able to do that in the future. But that first event that they brought together raised a grand total of, drum roll, $2,900, which they thought was really amazing. And they were excited to be able to give it because they didn't want to just get together and hang out. They wanted to do good in their community. And aspirationally, that's what they did. Over the years, they've been able to contribute over $550,000 to charitable causes here in the Twin Cities, and Genesys Works has been the primary beneficiary of that. So we're really grateful to Craig and to so many other legacy people who have helped to make that happen. I have the amazing privilege of introducing a class of 2018 Genesys Works Young Professional to be our speaker today. Jack Pham did his high school internship at Ameriprise, and he was an outstanding student then and continues to be now. He attends the University of Minnesota and wants to talk a little bit more about his career journey, what Genesys Works has meant to him. And when he wraps up, Abby Nelson, who is our Director of Corporate Partnerships, has a couple questions to be able to ask him too, just to be able to get to know him a little bit better. So without further ado, Jack, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you, Joel. Hi, everyone. My name is Jack Pham, and I'm currently a third-year student at the University of Minnesota studying business marketing education. I've been a part of the Genesys Works program for the past 3.5 years and held 2 internships at the City of Minneapolis and Ameriprise Financial. As a student, I'm the president of my fraternity, Pi Delta Psi, and serve as the leadership coordinator for the Midwest Asian American Students Union, or MASU, virtual conference, which is happening at the end of this month. I would like to thank each and every single one of you for taking part in this year's Hatfield and McCoys event. Although the circumstances are not ideal, it's great to see people still connecting with one another virtually. I was given the opportunity to speak at this event as a Genesys Works alumnus because I've distinguished myself as a student leader and as a member of the Genesys Works Talent Development Pipeline program, which provides additional professional development opportunities to driven college students. However, I would not be where I am today if I hadn't gone through the Genesys Works high school program. During both skills training and my year-long internship, I gained a variety of skills that I was severely lacking before. I built upon my public speaking ability, developed networking skills, and learned how to be a leader. I say I was severely lacking these abilities because these aren't skills that are normally taught in high school. And this became apparent to me when I transitioned into college. After my high school internship at the City of Minneapolis ended and I began to take classes at the U of M, I noticed that I was incredibly ahead of my peers. I had peers that didn't have a resume written, never went to a career fair, or had an internship. This was when I realized that taking part in the Genesys Works program was an integral part of who I was. I was a step ahead of others in terms of professional development. Genesys Works and my internship pushed me to grow and better myself so much that when I finished up with my internship, I felt a void that needs to be filled. I filled that void with leadership opportunities on campus. I joined my fraternity my very first semester at the U of M, and through that, I gained opportunities to network with other student leaders, which helped me gain my or earn my role for the MASU conference for the following year. Eventually, I worked hard enough in my fraternity to be elected president for the school year. If there was ever an opportunity for me to grow and develop myself, I'd always take it, especially if I felt unprepared or fearful. Fear, for me, is used as an indicator for personal growth. This was something I learned as a part of the CEO Roundtable. The CEO Roundtable was a group of GenesysWorks students from all across the nation that were given the opportunity to speak with the former CEO and founder of GenesysWorks, Rafael Alvarez. The roundtable was used as a means to keep in touch with each region GenesysWorks occupied. We met monthly for a year, and we were able to hear about Rafael's background, ideas, and thoughts, and he'd hear about ours. I remember one particular memory the most, where during one of our meetings, one of my peers asked Rafael how it felt to be a CEO. For him, he said he was always scared, and this threw everyone off. Someone else asked, "What are you scared of?" In response, he said that being scared was an indicator for each of his important decisions, for GenesysWorks and for himself. Fear for him was an indicator for growth and necessary change. I resonated a lot with this. Ever since that day, I took this method of thinking and applied it to myself and all the major choices I've had in my life. Going to college, applying for leadership roles, and taking opportunities like this, speaking in front of everyone here. All of this would not have been possible had I not joined GenesysWorks. I'm truly grateful for the experiences I've gained as a teenager and for the knowledge I'm gaining as I become an adult. As I begin to look beyond college and towards my career, I'm building interests in project management, marketing, and IT. I'm hoping to gain more experience in these fields soon, as I'm rapidly applying for internships for this upcoming summer. If anyone knows of any cool opportunities, let me know. Once again, thank you for being at this year's Hatfield and McCoys event. Without supporters like you, my experience at GenesysWorks would not be what it is. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's give Jack a virtual round of applause. Thank you so much, Jack. Really appreciate your words there, and have a few follow-up questions that were submitted by some of our technology partners. So thank you so much, Jack. Way to go. First question, you mentioned that GenesysWorks has helped you learn how to overcome fear and use it for personal growth. I'm wondering, what are some other challenges that GenesysWorks helped you to overcome?
GenesysWorks has helped steer me onto the right path. Before joining, I didn't think I was going to college, but through the program and through my internship, I ultimately decided to go, which has helped me tremendously.
That's huge. So another thing that you stated, you said that you're interested in project management, marketing, and IT as potential career fields. What are some goals and aspirations that you've identified for yourself in thinking about what comes next?
Current goals and aspirations for me are mainly to gain experience in these fields and kind of figure out what I want to go into for a career. I'm currently doing this through classes. So right now I'm taking a project management class and a marketing class, but I also want to get a summer internship to explore these options as well, to help me narrow things down. After that, I of course want to graduate from the U of M and start my career after that with a full-time position.
Got it. Well, sounds like you're a step ahead of where you need to be. And I'm sure that there are plenty of people in this meeting space who might have some ideas for you when you're looking for that summer internship. So hold us accountable for sure to those connections. So last question for you, Jack, is as you look to enter into a career soon, what are you looking for in an employer?
Yeah, the most important thing for me is that I feel welcomed in the company's culture and work environment. So, for example, if my peers and supervisor are easy to get along with, work with, and build a relationship with, it'd make work overall more enjoyable and easier to get into.
Awesome. Well, I think that's something we can all relate to. Let's give Jack another round of applause. Thanks so much, Jack. And with that, I will pass it back to Joel to close us out.
Awesome. Thanks, Jack. You did it. And hopefully now the anxiety goes down. It's great to do things that scare you, and then great to be able to reflect on how well you did. So congrats, Jack. Um, again, Genesys Works has been around in the Twin Cities. This is our 13th year. What we do for students is great. What students do for themselves, for their families, for their communities, and for our companies is even more amazing. We've had over 2,000 students during that time that have gone on a long journey with us. They've spent 14 months at minimum going through training, doing a year-long high school internship. And as Jack mentioned, our model now is to walk with those students all the way from their junior year of high school until they get their first professional job. And one stat that we have that I like to share is that the students that we survey, by the time that they're 6 years out of our high school program, 6 years after high school graduation, 26% of them are making more than both of their parents combined. And when we talk about breaking the cycle of poverty, being able to have a job, being able to have an income that can help not just support you, but support other people around you is an amazing part of that. By giving to Hatfield and McCoys, by bidding on CIOs today, which so many of you have already done, we're helping to make so much of what Genesys Works does possible. And I just want to say a quick thanks to everybody who helped pull together today's event. These are some of our next level leaders, as Craig would like to say. And these folks are a part of our TPAC, or Technology Partner Advisory Council. And I'll pop their names up here just so you get a chance to be able to see who they are. But when we were trying to put together a wildly different event than what we've done in the past, these folks have been invaluable in helping us to navigate trying to create a virtual event. So thank you to so many of them who, not just for this event, but throughout the year have helped us figure out how we can do a better job of connecting with partners like you in the Twin Cities. If you're interested in being more involved, there is an exciting new way to be able to do that. We're calling that our Technology Circle. And there's an email, or there's a website that's on here that Courtney's going to pop into the chat too. Feel free to click on the URL to be able to find out more information. But this is aimed at technology partners just like you who want to be more involved in finding volunteer opportunities, to learn more about college graduates like Jack, who are going to be looking for full-time work, to look for exclusive insights in terms of the business that we're doing with companies in the Twin Cities and other opportunities like that. We're looking to build a critical group that's going to be a part of this technology circle, and would encourage you to click the link and to become a part of that today. And the final thing is, the bidding is not over. It is 3:19. You still have 1 hour and 11 minutes to be able to get in your final bids at HandBid. It's a great platform. I've enjoyed watching it today. I am so encouraged by all the efforts that you all have put into things. Thank you so much for doing that. Just one housekeeping piece at the end. After your invoice is paid, which you'll have an opportunity to do directly through the platform, we will connect you to the IT leader that you're the winning bidder for. So have a chance to be able to get a warm introduction from us. And we already have obviously the commitment from the executive to be able to meet with you in the near future. So thank you to Jack. Thank you to Matt. Thank you to Julie and Courtney for being able to put together things on the Genesys Works side, and to so many of you who are fueling this event and making it happen. Thank you, everybody. Have a great afternoon.